What if one of the biggest lessons we all learn in school is just wrong? Seriously, what if the very skills that get you that perfect A+ are the exact same things that hold you back in the real world? It's a wild thought, right? Well, today we're going to dive into a story that really makes you think about that, following two graduates whose lives end up looking nothing like what their report cards predicted. All right, so let's meet our two main characters here. First up, we've got Julian Hayes. You know the type, right? The valedictorian, the one with the perfectly color-coded notes who probably started studying for finals on the first day of class. And then there's Leo Vance. Leo's the complete opposite. He's the kid in the back of the class, always doodling in the margins, his head somewhere else entirely. I mean, on paper, you look at these two and think you know exactly how their stories are going to play out. So let's picture it. It's graduation day, the system has spoken, it's declared a winner, and, well, a not-so-winner. It feels like their destinies are etched in stone. But as we're about to find out, the real world doesn't really care about the school's verdict. It has a funny way of just ripping up the script. And Julian, he was the perfect product of that system, the golden boy. He was a master at playing the academic game. He could look at any assignment, any rubric, and know exactly what the teacher wanted. It didn't even matter if he was curious about it. He just knew how to deliver the A. He played that game flawlessly. Now, over to Leo. From the outside, his teachers just saw a kid who wasn't applying himself. They thought he was disengaged. But what was really going on? Leo was just playing a totally different game. His game wasn't about memorizing facts. It was about building things, tinkering, being creative. The school's curriculum, that just wasn't the right playing field for him.
Okay, so this is where it all starts to unfold. The next 10 years are absolutely crucial. We're going to see these two paths, which seem so clear on graduation day, just twist and turn in ways that nobody, and I mean nobody, especially not their teachers, could have ever seen coming.
So, two very different paths. Let's dig into how this all played out, because it really comes down to the game each of them decided to play right from the start. So Julian goes off to a fancy Ivy League school, and he just keeps playing the same game he perfected in high school. It's like level 2. His real superpower wasn't some deep passion for learning, it was his almost psychic ability to figure out exactly what a professor wanted to see on an exam. And that's what he gave them, every single time, all for that sweet, sweet validation of the A+. Leo, on the other hand, he tries college, but he finds it totally boring, completely disconnected from anything real. So he makes this huge risky move. He drops out. He takes that tuition money, you can imagine how his parents felt about that, and he buys a 3D printer and rents a little bit of warehouse space. He's diving headfirst into this world with no syllabus, no rubric, no safety net, no guarantee of anything. And look at how this plays out over the next few years. It's just a world of difference. Julian's path is smooth, he gets recruited by a top firm, makes a ton of money, gets the fancy apartment. The system is working for him. He won. But Leo, his path is just failure after failure. Prototypes catching fire, drones that are too heavy to fly getting laughed at in meetings. Every single rejection feels like another failing grade. All right, fast forward about 5 years. This is where things really start to shift. Both of them hit a wall, a real crisis point in their careers. But the problems they're facing couldn't be more different. So Julian's manager comes to him, and she doesn't want another perfectly researched report. She says, I need a cure. I need an innovative strategy. What's your vision? And for Julian, who has built his whole life on finding the one correct answer in the back of the book, this is terrifying. There is no right answer here. And he just freezes. He's paralyzed. Because his entire life, the game was about finding the correct answer that someone else had already decided on. But now, faced with a problem that has no rubric, no answer key, he's completely lost. His greatest strength has suddenly become his biggest weakness. Now, Leo's facing his own oh no moment. A huge competitor with way more money and better tech is coming for his business. But Leo's response is so interesting. He doesn't panic and look at spreadsheets. He says, yeah, they have better tech, but they don't know our farmers. He understood his customers on a human level, something he'd learned from years of actually being in the trenches with them. You see, Leo had been forged by failure. He was comfortable with it. To him, failing wasn't this big, scary thing that defined him. It was just data. It was information. Every time a drone crashed, every time an investor said no, it was just another lesson that made him stronger, more adaptable, and way more courageous. Okay, so here's the reunion. 10 years after they walked across that graduation stage, Their worlds are about to collide in the most unexpected way possible.
Get this, Julian is now a venture capital analyst, and his job is to vet this new super hot startup called AeroCrop. And who is the founder and CEO? Of course, it's Leo Vance. The C student is literally pitching his multi-million-dollar company to the Valedictorian. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The tables have totally turned.
So later, they go out for a drink, and Leo just lays it all out. He looks at Julian and says something that hits him right between the eyes. School and the real world, they're playing two completely different sports, Jules. And that's really the heart of it, right? School is this neat, tidy, closed system. The rules are clear, the answers are known, and failure is a bad thing. But the real world? It's an open system. It's messy. The rules are always changing. Nobody knows the right answers. And failure? Failure is how you learn. School trains you for one game, and then life asks you to play a completely different one.
And you can just see the light bulb go off for Julian. It's a tough pill to swallow. He realizes he spent his whole life terrified of failing. He thought if he just got the perfect grades, the world would reward him. But he was just getting good at following rules, while Leo was getting good at breaking them, at trying and failing and trying again. So this whole encounter just shakes Julian to his core. He understands now. He's been playing the wrong game. And he decides to do something absolutely radical.
He goes home, opens up his resume, this perfect monument to his academic achievements, highlights the entire thing, and just hits delete. It's symbolic, right? He's letting go of that old identity, the straight-A student, so he can finally learn how to play the real game.
And it's not easy. Not at all. He quits his safe job and starts his own little firm. And he's terrible at it at first. He makes mistakes, he loses money. For the first time in his life, Julian is getting Fs. But here's the thing. He's finally learning that big lesson from Leo. Failure isn't a grade on your report card. It's just information.
And then, years later, it happens. He lands this huge project, a real, tangible success that he built, not one he earned by checking boxes on a rubric. And just then, his phone buzzes. It's a text from Leo. It just says, "Not bad for a straight-A student." And there it is, full circle.
So what's the big takeaway here? I mean, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if your resume, your grades, your transcript, what if that's not the whole story? What if the most important skills, things like courage, resilience, creativity, are the things that can't be graded? The story of Julian and Leo is just this powerful reminder that your past doesn't have to define your future, and it's never, ever too late to learn how to play a new game.
Please like and subscribe.